Hello everyone and welcome to this video, this horror story that you're about to watch. Please do watch the fair warning before, because there's heavy stuff, quite some heavy stuff in the story and might trigger you, so please do watch that before proceeding. So this story, it all started when I watched this video, and I'll show my comment about it, because the story already started forming in my head as soon as I watched this video. Yeah, how does that work? It was there, the flow. And yeah, I wrote the story the next day in like 1 or 2 afternoons. And I also did a voice recording then. It was like at the end of July, and then I decided like this is going to be a long-term project. I don't want to rush this. This is just going to be a story, a special video for Halloween, because this sort of thing, and it was quite a long story. Like when I wrote it down, I was like, okay, maybe it's half an hour, but then it was like almost 1.5 hours or something. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take it easy with this, because otherwise it's so much work at once, and that's just not, no, to combine it in that way with my real life, that's not fun. So I was like, let's just spread out the whole process over 3 months. So I was like, in August I'm going to finish the sounds, and today, whilst I'm recording this intro on the 31st of August, I have finished the audio in the meantime. I already recorded this intro before as well, but then I accidentally removed it when I needed to clear some space in my laptop. Luckily I did not remove everything from the story. I'd have to redo that all again, but but luckily didn't. So, and yeah, now today I have finished everything when it comes to soundtracks. Next step is the visuals, the backgrounds, etc. in September, and the effects and stuff. And then in October, the last stuff is adding text that you can read, because that was my idea, which you will see then, to have a background with really spooky vibe. Sometimes moving, sometimes not, sometimes background from in-game, sometimes another picture from Google, a fitting one, depends, and then the text in the middle, so you can read it while listening to the music and watching the screen. So yeah, that is how it all came to be. I'm so excited for you to hear this story, and I really hope you enjoy it. Hope you don't get too scared. And I'm curious to your comments, your reactions. I might do more in the future, but I'll have to see about it. Will always be long-term projects. Well, unless it's a short story, of course, but this probably won't be the last one. So, have fun, and I'll see you again in the outro. Dear viewer, before you start watching this video and listening to the story, I want to give a fair warning, as it is quite a dark and scary story, involving dark events and topics such as a dark ritual, possession, abuse, ritualistic abuse, murder, suicide. And if you can't handle these topics mentioned in a story, then I recommend you not to watch it. Take care of yourself, unless you want to challenge yourself, but really your mental health and everything, that comes always first, of course. If you still, we are really curious to the story, chapter 1 is quite safe. Chapter 9 and 10 too, there happens just a little bit, but most of the dark and scary stuff happens since chapter 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. You can of course also always pause the story and resume when you feel ready, but If it's not for you, then just skip it. I will make more Halloween videos. So here's my fair warning. I didn't want to just offer you a story without giving some context and a warning about those dark topics that might trigger a lot of people. So here's your warning. Now let's get into the intro, and after that the story will begin. The story takes place in Golden Hills. However, imagine it a bit different. Imagine the area around Golden Leaf Stables bigger, with more agricultural land and a huge apple orchard. Some of the names, like the main character, were also inspired by the Soul Riders. And the story takes place around 1998 and also some other times periods, but you will hear about that. Let's begin now. Let's saddle up Otario and go for a ride, AnnaLinda thought, while she was walking towards the stables after a short break at home from school, eating a lovely red Santana apple. These were one of her favorites, and they were so abundantly present in autumn. She loved autumn. Her auburn-colored hair and slightly tanned skin even blended into it so well. So much apple picking around this time on the farm. She lived on a farm with horses and all the plants and fruits around her, harvesting herbs, fruits and vegetables in the summer and autumn, making jams, soups, sauces, soaps, oils, and ciders on rainy days to last during the winters, drying the herbs as well and freezing the fruits. Her family was partially self-sustainable. However, she was glad she didn't have to make her own shoes or clothes. Gosh, she was not good or patient with that at all, she thought. She actually loved to go shopping, mostly online. One day in the city would do for a year. This day, on the 1st of October, it was already afternoon. It was going to be dark around 7 p.m. Let's hurry up to Otario so I can take my time with him. I hate having to rush brush my horse. I want to take the time and feel if he is doing well today, if he is up for a ride, she thought. Otario was a gorgeous black Frisian. He greeted her happily. Today was a good day for a ride. Let's actually go uphill more towards the forest today, now that it feels good again, she thought. A little while later, AnnaLinda and Otario were going uphill. The crisp air, the breeze, the smell of autumn leaves and all the vibrant colors made AnnaLinda feel so alive. This was her season, and her horse seemed to enjoy it a lot too. Yet there is also a darkness lingering in autumn. The spooky vibes were even stronger in places that felt off during the summer and spring. But the mystery of it was so intriguing to AnnaLinda. Don't go too deep, a voice, a feeling said strongly. Oof, yes, I'm getting too carried away, she thought. It mustn't consume me. A healthy distance upholds the overview before losing myself completely in it. She learned that the hard way a year ago. She remembered this during today's ride. I'm never going to that castle again, not without my mom and dad, who barely managed to save me. They were demonologists. They knew everything about angels, demons, rituals, what to do when a place is haunted, how to close a portal, and more. Today it was exactly a year ago. She felt chills, yet the presence of her horse calming her. Don't worry, you won't go too deep this time. You learned your lesson. Otario put her at ease. She could communicate with him. The day it happened, she had read about the mysteries of Marchengast castle. The Bahrain family had lived there. They used to be quite an influential but mysterious family back in 1888. But the information about them was so scarce and fake. All she could find in history books was that they had some weird accountancy company. They had made books as well, but for some reason not to publish to the public. What could they have been writing about? The books seemed to have been passed around there and a few other families according to some sources. What were they even using them for? She sought out Marchengast castle that afternoon, avoiding her parents as they wouldn't have agreed to it. They would have sensed something was up. Her parents were out working that day. With a guest, they went on their 3 horses to a haunted place somewhat nearby, so AnnaLinda had to go on foot alone, as there was no other horse she could ride towards the castle. After school and a few quick farm chores, she packed some food and water in a hurry and went on a hike towards Marchengast castle. The hike was nice. She got a little sweaty too. The first part of autumn was quite gentle this year, that day on the 1st of October. It was still a little sunny, with a maximum temperature of 16 degrees Celsius. However, the minimum was already 5 degrees Celsius at night, and the predictions for next week weren't any warmer than 10 degrees maximum during the day. So quickly it could change. Once they already had snow on the 15th of October, just a little bit, but still. There she was on top of the hill, so satisfactory. Ha, a little break with an apple and a sip of water. So nice, she thought. But let's keep it short. I want to go there as fast as possible. The road to Marchengast castle was blocked by a tree, stones, branches and some bushes. She managed to climb it swiftly though. Oh yes, there I am, let's do this. She had no idea how much this excitement would turn into despair. The castle was huge, beautiful red bricks, she thought, really fitting into the autumn scenery. At this moment, whilst discovering the premises, she didn't feel much yet, though something told her to be on high alert. She brushed it off mentally. It can't be that bad. Their company may have been sketchy, but so have many other companies. Overly courageous, she gave the doors a try. It's quite stuck, come on now. Perhaps I should look for another entrance. As she turned around, the big wooden doors with metal decoration opened up all of a sudden. She turned around and stared a dark yet empty creature in the eye. Or eye? It was more like 2 dark, endless emptiness holes. The more she stared into them, the more she was taken over. What's going on? Why can't I stop staring? She froze. She became paralyzed. She could not do anything but obey the creature, trying to lure her inside. Come on here, child. I will show you what secrets lie within the family. I could use some strong live energy. Yes, come on, get closer now. I will do to you what I did to Sar. Who is Sar? I can't stop. Please someone help me resist, I can barely breathe. She made heavy, slow and forced steps. No, stop! One more step, child, and you're mine. As she got closer, the spirit became impatient. That's it, Maganda thought. I can't hold on for long. If I don't take her now, I will lose her. I'll have to take a risk and use all my energy to sweep her off her feet and drag her in so I can put my claws in her and suck out her life energy. So she did. AnnaLinda didn't stand a chance. I can't stand! Ah! She got dragged into the castle and now the door's locked behind her. No way out. Yes, here you will see the secret child, or one of those that I want to show you. I will be possessing you for a long time. You will turn to bones here. No one can hear your screams. Get off of me! But AnnaLinda couldn't get up, as she felt the weight of the spirit, the cold. It was an unnatural cold. Not like any of the cold she experienced outside. She liked the cold in general. No, this was different. This cold she could feel into her bones. Made her shiver like never before. I feel so weak. Oh yes, and you'll be closing your eyes soon, as you will spend your first night here on this cold floor. Her energy felt so heavy. All she could do was lie down and let her energy be taken. The spirit was too strong. She couldn't resist, and slowly she fell asleep, whilst Maganta kept strengthening herself with her energy. Day started turning into night. Haha, left Shanda and Hengo after a great day with their friends, horses, and successfully solving a haunted house case. They came riding home, expecting AnnaLinda to be waiting for them. She must laughed her ass off today, Shanda left, actually being in charge of the farm. AnnaLinda was always telling her mom how she would rule the farm better once she inherited it, sharing all her ideas. Finally she got what she wanted for her day. I bet she's been making a lot of jokes to herself about how she already has taken over. Oh, what a great deal she still has to learn. Haha, she is just as stubborn and strong-willed as you are, Shanda, said Hengo while pinching her nose. I love you both for it. Shanda leaned in for his embrace. Shanda was more of a redhead than an auburn and fair-skinned. She burned so easily. Hengo had black hair and was more tanned like AnnaLinda and quite tall, while Shanda was more on the short side, AnnaLinda something in between, all of them with shining blue eyes. After taking care of the horses, they entered the house. Shanda started to make dinner, while Hengo made a fire. Shanda called out for AnnaLinda. Daughter, where are you? Did the farm run great under your rule? She said while chuckling. No answer. Hengo came into the kitchen. Can you please take care of the cooking for a sec? Maybe AnnaLinda is just asleep, but I want to check. An unpleasant feeling started to arise in her. Sure, babe. You go see how our little queen bee is, haha. As Shanda walked up the blue stairs with a wide railing, she knew something was wrong intuitively. Then when standing in her daughter's room, she got a vision. She saw AnnaLinda and seemingly female spirit, vaguely and shortly. No, AnnaLinda is in great trouble. Hengo raced to her. What's wrong? What's wrong? I can't. There is something terribly wrong. Alright, sweetheart, calm down. Why don't you try to reach her while I'll hold you? Okay, she nodded. Yes, let's do that. She sat down in an easy seated pose and tried to make her connection, but it was cloudy, misty, foggy, unclear, like she couldn't see through. She had done this connection exercise in the past with her daughter, and they had always been able to see each other clearly. Now she couldn't at all. The spirit, she is blocking my connection. Oh gosh, please, no, I have to make contact. It must be a very strong spirit then, Shanda. She can block your vision this much. Yes, indeed. We need to do something. Maybe one of her friends can connect to her. Shanda and Hengo called back and forth. Unfortunately, all of their spiritual friends had the same problem. Alright, then we need to start a search party. Gather all the camping gear and lights, crystals, holy salt and water as well. I'll pack us some food, water and blankets. It could possibly go below 5 degrees tonight, she'll be freezing. And so they started out a search party on horseback, while other community members and friends came along with them. Back at the castle, AnnaLinda was asleep but not peaceful. Maganta possessed her mind, making her feel awful, but not capable of making it stop. There, as I am seeping into you, I will take more control. You will be used in a ritual and set me free tomorrow. But let me first show you how I came here. You are not the first innocent girl to be used for a ritual in this castle. No, it has happened before. That is how I came to be here. It all started with the Barayan family. They had trapped the previous Marchengast family into selling this place to them. They made sure to take all they could from them. They were good at falsely accusing people and used the law to their advantage. Their money gained unfairly. A stroke of luck for the grandfather of Kalinta's husband, or was it? He found the carriage of a family whom had been in an accident while relocating themselves to another city. They lay dead by the side of the river, a fatal fall of a steep hill. He took their fortune but kept it silent. My life is not that much worth, he thought. I'll continue working at the factory till I'm dead and give all the money to my son, as he was old already, but certainly not without schemes. How was it possible that the family's brakes didn't work that day when it was a little muddier whilst the carriage wasn't that old? Coincidence or foul play? Yurko, the son of Triant, named after his grandfather, had been a schemer all his life, making deals with the government, whitewashing money. To him it was as easy as breathing. His wife Kalinta was a shrink whom loved to study the mind, but she had other secrets as well. I know of this because I possessed and read Kalinta's mind. However, she was willingly. I was her guide in all of her decisions. So I got to know Sar, a poor innocent girl sent to Kalinta for housework. Sar, a short name, was all her parents wanted to give to her. Equivalent to the love and care she got. They thought the long name was wasteful. Why are you sending me away? Asked Sar. Come on, child, go get away. I can't care for you and all my 4 other children. Someone has to go, otherwise we can't even manage the farm. But I can help. You can't, you scrawny little girl. We don't understand you either way. Always talking about butterflies and flowers. They will not pay our bills. Sar was indeed quite skinny and underfed, tall with her dark brown hair and eyes, her outworn pink jacket and light brown pants. She arrived at the castle. Kalinta looked at her with judgmental eyes. Will you really do, child? Kalinta was a tall, intimidating woman with a stern look and white hair, a cold voice. Well, come on in, child. We'll make sure you will prove your worth. The atmosphere was tense, but yet Sar saw the beauty in everything. Well, maybe I will have it better in here. And there are at least books to discover, she thought, as they passed a small library with a red carpet and one desk, books on shelves on the right and left side. Sar loved to wander in books, enjoy nature, and to be with animals. She made a little squeak of excitement. "Oh, miss, can I please read one of those books someday?" "You will never enter that library. Those books are private. Enter and you will see what severe punishment is," Kalinda said harshly. "I'm sorry, miss. I promise I won't. I just love books." "Well, maybe you can earn a book if you prove your loyalty to us." "Keep that girl out of the library, jerkhole. If any of that information gets outside somehow, we are finished." "I'll make sure to make Gando keep an eye on her," Yurko answered. "He can teach her our ways and manners here. I don't have the time. Neither have I. I have something to do tonight, if you know what I mean. Don't call upon that spirit again. What if she possesses us?" "I will. What are you worrying about? I know what I'm doing." "Fine, but don't involve me in it." "Oh, don't you worry," Kalinda answered. Years passed. Sar went from being a child to a young teenager. "Ugh, I'm so bored. I don't want to have to do my chores again. I want to go outside." She wasn't often allowed, as she had to keep up the entire castle. Sometimes she had to do garden work and chop the small wooden sticks as well, but not nearly as often as the indoor tasks. Kalinda's gaze was all it took to make her work. She always treated Sar coldly and stern, but also somewhat fair. Sar was given a few books for her spare time, which she didn't have much time of. She wondered what was always going on, secret meetings she couldn't attend no matter what. No one ever having a friendly conversation. All she got was orders and rules. She grew sick of it. She wanted to know the mystery, get into the world, have some sort of fun. One night she walked the purple stairs, the walls dark red, a huge chandelier in the hallway, red carpet everywhere. Weird symbols on the doors in dark red resembling the color of blood. "Ew, I don't hope that's real," she thought often. She could have sworn she saw it drip at night, but that couldn't be possible. There were never any stains on the carpet. Her room was also weird. Most of it in an outworn cream color that had gotten dirty over the years. The weird symbols occurred in her room as well. And why was there even an axe and all of those other garden tools? Apparently they didn't care about her room, and father was fine to keep dirty garden tools in there. "It's practical," Kalinda said. "You can immediately take them downstairs with you as you go to do your garden chores." She couldn't sleep that night. It was cold and her room was not well insulated. She tolerated heat better. The next day she felt tired after a sleepless night. "Hurry up," Kalinda said. "I'm sorry, miss. I didn't get so much sleep last night." Kalinda slapped her. "Sar, I hired you to work, girl, not to slack off all day. No dinner for you tonight." Sar could barely hold back her tears, as this wasn't the first time Kalinda had punished her harshly over a small thing. At night she just kept on rolling over in her bed. "Ouch, my tummy, I'm starving," she cried a little. "Why always this?" The tears turned to anger. She felt rebellious. "Oh, screw it. Miss Barayan is usually asleep at this time anyways. Let's take a peek in the library." Carefully she tiptoed towards the library. She was shaking. It felt as if somebody was always watching her. But she had gotten used to that feeling. Just another day, she thought. Then as she was about to open the door, it felt as if frost struck her throat. She gasped for breath. Never had she felt such an icy gaze from Kalinta. She grabbed her throat and raised her up. How could she have sensed me? I was so quiet, Sor thought. I told you not to come in here, Missy. Sor felt as if the life was getting sucked out of her body. Now this will serve as a punishment, said Kalinta as she threw Sor on the floor, took her hand and made a deep cut in it. Sor screamed in pain. Don't worry, child, it will heal. But you'll have to work with the pain and just one hand tomorrow. No rest for you, girl. Now you better go to bed and make an early start. Your chores will surely take more time tomorrow. The next day, Kalinta talked to Jurko. The girl's becoming trouble, Jurko. Well, you know what to do with her, right? Oh yes, her life isn't worth anything for me. Although maybe it could be, hehe. One more stunt and she is finished. A few years passed again. 17-year-old Sor still traumatized from the event. She felt so fed up and angry, and nowhere could she express it, except at night in her pillow, day in, day out a slave. That night she snapped. She couldn't take it anymore. That's it, she screamed into her pillow. If this pillow could feel, I'd feel bad for it, she thought. All of that anger and sadness. Sorry, pillow, she chuckled at her own joke. So often she still managed to find a little bit of light in the darkness. But it was getting harder. The next day she was in the castle alone, as all the members, including Kalinta, went to another secret event. Oh, whatever, she thought, as she rushed through her chores and finished early. For once she could finally let out a scream, still with caution as she always felt watched, even when there was no one else in the castle. But once she opened up the river of tears, it didn't stop, and her anger took over. I just want to slam in the glass doors of the library with my axe, she thought. But she decided against that, as Kalinta surely would notice. In a rage and out of rebellion, she still decided to go to the library again. This time she actually managed to get in. Not locking it was one of Kalinta's ways to mock her. Ha, she thought. At least one small win from Kalinta, whom had been teasing her about the horrific event all these years. The library had a dark vibe. Even though it was illuminated with 2 smaller lamps and 1 big chandelier, it still felt dark. All of the books seemed to have these weird colored symbols too. She picked a green book. Jeez, it was heavy. She was shocked at the content. This was a plan about disowning the Marchengast family. It was always told they had to move out because of whitewashing money and fraud. The Barijners had a plan to turn around the truth and succeeded. Oh, where have I gotten into, Sor thought. Why did my parents have to send me here? I would have preferred anywhere but here. She closed the book and opened another purple one. Dark magic? What? No, that doesn't exist. A book full of dark rituals, pictures of demons and spells. It can be, but this would explain a lot of what she had experienced. Now fear creeped into her. Was she going to be used in a ritual too? Oh, I better put back these books and leave the library quick. As she turned around, there stood Kalinta, smiling with the biggest grin she had ever seen on her face. How could she have sneaked upon me like this, Sir thought. I would have seen her enter the castle. I sure couldn't have missed the loud sound of the huge doors. You're right, child, you are going to be used in a ritual. I was originally gonna let you live as you're just an unimportant servant girl, but now you have set yourself up for sacrifice. Thank you, I have been waiting for this. No, please, I can't pretend not to know. I will never disobey again. Too late now, girl. I am looking too much forward to this now. Don't worry, we'll find a replacement for you. Hopefully she will be a bit wiser than you are. Take her, boys. No, screamed Sor, as she got dragged along the hallway into a room which she had never seen on the inside. Oh, how frightened she was as she saw all sorts of torture devices and tools. Tie and gag her. I don't want to waste my precious ears on her screams. She was put on a pentagram. The energy felt so dark and heavy it squashed her. Now that you are going to be gone soon, I shall tell you a little secret, sir. See, I have always been working with the dark forces. One day I summoned Maganta, an ice demon so strong, but I just couldn't get her into full form. Now I have the perfect solution for that. Your life energy will be just what she needs. You can already feel through this pentagram that she is taking energy from you. Did you know that the pentagram itself is neutral? That the use of it depends on whether it becomes evil or good? Keep her in here for 2 days. No food or water. I want her spirit weakened. It will be easier for Maganta to take her that way. Sor will do whatever it takes to feel relief. I need water, I'm so hungry. Someone help me, Sor thought. Her tummy hurt. Her mouth was so dry. Oh, please, why, she pleaded, feeling her energy weaken. 2 days later. Now it is time, Sor. Time to offer the sacrificial lamb and tie her. She has no strength anymore. Sor lay almost lifeless on the ground. Maganta, I summon you, Kalinta repeated, chanting while other members held the space. Candles and mirrors present on the floor. There she came, Maganta the ice demon. Kalinta took a deep bow. My queen, I have brought you a gift to make you come to life. Please accept this sacrificial girl. Her life energy and soul will be yours. What took you so long? Said Maganta as she slapped Kalinta. You had to go all this time and didn't think to sacrifice her to me? My grace, I thought she would be too ordinary for you. That is not anywhere near an acceptable apology, but it will do for now. Now offer her blood to me. Sor was brought forward and cut in her arm. Now make her submit her soul to me. Sor screamed in pain as she was beaten. Say it now, said Kalinta. Say you sell your soul to her. Sor didn't want to, but no longer did she have any spirit to resist. I submit my soul. To you, Maganta, Kalinta said. To you, Maganta, Sor repeated. Then one final scream followed. Sor felt all the cold, burning, pinching through her whole body as Maganta took over. Gone was Sor. Cut her throat and store her blood, Kalinta commanded her men. Sor's lifeless body was taken to another room. This life force. Maganta felt her renewed energy, stronger and more in the real world than ever. Now, Kalinta, it's your turn. I won't resist your grace. Lead me with your darkness, I will serve you. Maganta grinned and fully possessed Kalinta. Now that's better. As Kalinta approached Jurko, he didn't recognize her anymore. What have you done, Kalinta? You were to sacrifice the girl, not to become possessed yourself. This is not your Kalinta anymore, Maganta said with a sharp voice, and you will aid me now. As she lifted Jurko in the air and dropped him harshly. You will keep up your schemes, while I will keep spreading the darkness. Yes, I will do. Please don't kill me. That depends on whether or not you will stay out of my way. As years passed by, even Jurko became weaker and intoxicated. He gathered with his men. We have to stop her. I don't want to kill Kalinta, but we might have to. She will be my end. They agreed to it. With lots of effort and lost lives, they managed to tie Kalinta on the pentagram. What do you think you're doing? This is the portal which leads to my realm. Which is where we'll send you back, shouted Jurko. The whole castle seemed to be shaken as they performed the ritual. But it failed. Men hit the wall and died. Jurko became desperate. If I can't send you back, I'll bind you with the few men I still have left. The binding spell worked, thanks to a now weakened Maganta. Fighting back and the ritual took a lot of energy from her while she was in Kalinta's fragile body. The success, however, came with a great loss for Jurko, as Kalinta was killed in the process. With the spirit trapped, forever intoxicating his castle, and his wife gone, Jurko didn't see purpose anymore. With a sad expression and low spirits, he walked up to the highest window of the castle. He opened it, and with one last hike, he jumped. He lay there on the cold stone ground, lifeless and broken. Maganta, now forever bound to the castle, unable to escape back to the dark realm, howling in and playing with the castle every night. Slowly her strength was fading, and she couldn't connect to her realm anymore, now that the portal was still closed. Ah! AnnaLinda screamed in pain, as she was forced to see and feel all this. Though waking up from her sleep didn't make her feel better. It was still the middle of the night, and she felt suffocated by the darkness. Oh, poor soul, she thought. What that girl has gone through. I wish I could free her spirit, but I'm trapped myself. What a fool I was to think I could just take on any ghost, no matter what. Maganta was not on her back now. She could move again. I have to get out, she said. There was, however, no way she could break the huge lock on the door. She was too tired and afraid to explore the castle. I'll have to try to fall asleep and wait for daylight. Then her presence isn't as strong. She thrives in the dark, AnnaLinda thought. Slowly she fell asleep again, tired of all she saw and the emotions she experienced. Dark energy and spirits kept Shanda, Hengo and the rest off trail. But we must find it, Shanda screamed. Sweetheart, there's no point now. It's 3 a.m. and we're all exhausted. Come on, let's have a rest, and then we'll continue tomorrow. She had to agree. She could barely keep her eyes open. AnnaLinda is a clever girl. She will have found shelter somewhere, I'm sure. You're right. If she had frozen to death, I would know. I would feel it. No such thing now. Full of worry, they tried to have some sleep in their tents that night. 12 p.m. the next day. AnnaLinda woke up. Phew, I sure had to sleep in. Ow! She had such a headache. I could really use some water right now. She still had just a little bit in her bottle. I have to take it now, she thought. I feel so horrible. And this is only one night. I can't imagine what Sir must have gone through. It's light. I have to do something. Perhaps I can think of a counterspell. Although weakened, she bravely went upstairs with renewed energy. Ugh, so dusty and gross here. And the smell. This must be the smell of death. She felt an eerie sensation as she found the library. Come on, AnnaLinda, you have to do it now. Before it gets dark, she thought. Strangely enough, a lot of books are still quite intact after so many years, as if Maganta had kept them in a good shape. She went on and on to explore and read. So many families ruined by the Variants. It became worse after. She had just discovered a chapter in which the ritual she saw was described. Everything was true. Kalinta, or better to say Maganta, had kept up a diary as she was proud of her dark deeds and wanted to reread about them. Endless searching. The daytime started to switch to nighttime, but AnnaLinda got so much into the reading that she didn't realize before it was too late. Wait, I recognize this tree. We've been passing it 5 times now. This is hopeless, Shanda said. How am I ever going to find my daughter? We can't give up, Hengo said. We have to do something different. Obviously we're going in circles, but why? What is misleading us? My mind feels so cloudy here. It's the same cloudiness I feel when trying to connect with AnnaLinda. So we must be close. Just where do we go wrong? Let's perform a light ritual using our herbs and crystals. Chamomile and clear quartz and our chanting can help clear our minds and the air, Hengo said. Okay, let's do that. As they performed the ritual with community members, the energy felt so much lighter. Oh yes, now my mind feels clearer. Shanda made a huge gasp. There! That is the spot we missed. I just saw it. Our daughter has been hurt by the spirit. She's in Marchengast castle. How are we even going to get in there? One of the members spoke up. I know a secret passageway. I used to work in construction, and we had to explore the field first. There are all sorts of weird passageways towards this castle. The project was given up before it even started. The castle was too confusing, and none of the men felt comfortable working there. Accidents almost happened on a regular basis. Boss figured it wasn't worth the trouble. Thank you. Let's go. Shanda, Hengo, and 2 other men went into the tunnels. Dusk came. Now AnnaLinda noticed she had trouble reading. Shit, it's turning dark and I still haven't found a solution. She fumbled through all sorts of books, dropping them, panicking. Oh no, just let there be a solution, she cried and screamed in panic. Then she found a beautiful book, goody spells and how to negate them. It must be in here, she thought. Oh, I can barely read anymore as she squinted her eyes, trying to read with what little light she still had. I found it! This is the spell, she said. Then, as the last light disappeared, a dark grin sent shivers over her spine. These are short, long passages. Are we almost there? It's going to be night soon. Should almost be there, Shanda. These passages are tricky. Can't decide too quick. They were designed to trap people for God knows what. There! That staircase! It has these weird symbols. They are blood colored. Shanda, don't touch it. You don't want to know. You have to save your energy for AnnaLinda. You're right. Better not to know. Thank you. As Shanda and Hengo hugged each other. Let's go now. Too late, Missy. You're mine now. I made sure you've wasted your time looking at the wrong books. You thought my weakened power a day couldn't affect you? You easily manipulated child, she said, and then slapped AnnaLinda onto the ground. Now we're off to the room, girl. Let's go. I remember this well. I was already in Tukalinda's mind while she did this to Sar. I'm going to enjoy this. Sar didn't deserve this. You speak too loud. As she made AnnaLinda feel the frost on her throat, now dragging her to the room. It feels so heavy here. We're almost there, but our energy is already getting drained, said Shanda. Do we have anything else to protect our energy? I still have a clear quartz which can help, said Hengo. Let's do our little protection ritual. Call upon Archangel Michael and imagine a golden white energy sphere around us. It helped. They now rushed up to the stairs. Stop, you're hurting me. This is nothing yet, grinned Magenta, as AnnaLinda entered the room with big wooden doors. She saw even more bloody symbols, corrupted crystals, an iron ceiling. The room just screamed death. Barely any light could enter through the partially black windows. Dusty torture devices on a shelf, and weird substances, old notes and books, a cold stone floor with a gross carpet. At the end of the room there was a circle with a pentagram in the middle, with an iron beam with ropes and chains on it. That's right, girl. That is where I will put you. No! For the last bits of energy. AnnaLinda struggled in pain. She was so exhausted and drained of her energy. Against her will, Magenta tied her on the beam. There was nothing she could do. Before I start this, I will let you be here on your knees for one more day. I want to enjoy this a little longer. You will experience what Sar did. There will be no more spirit in you to fight me. AnnaLinda was panting from pain, fear, and exhaustion. She couldn't utter a word of resistance anymore. Please, someone help me, she thought. Mom, Dad, I need you. What's this disturbance? Magenta uttered. Finally, there it is, Shanda shouted. Wait, careful. I can already feel the spirit. She is very dangerous. You guys wait here just in case. Stay here as our backup. Hengo and Shanda slowly stepped onto the stone floor, now being behind the middle between two stairs. It was dark, heavy, and eerie. I recognize this cold. This unnatural, unsettling cold comes from an ice demon, a higher level one. But what is her name? Try to concentrate. I have few names in mind, Hengo said. He always knew most of the information. Janati? No? I see. No. Oh, I'm glad, since that is the highest. Magenta. As Hengo named her, Shanda felt a sharp sensation. Yes, it's her. She was bound to this castle years ago. That's bad news. You know she can freeze you and forcibly take your soul, right? Yes, but only on the pentagram. AnnaLinda must have read about this somewhere. Did she get into her archive again? She is so stubborn. Yes, darling, I saw her walking towards it, but I didn't want to tell her about it again. I don't want her to think we don't trust her. She must have gone into it when you weren't looking. I'm afraid so. She picked the closest case nearby. Let's track her. A door slammed as they walked up the stairs. If it's not the famous demon hunters, Shanda and Hengo Goldhearts. What an honor to meet you. Unfortunately for you, I have your child captive. We will banish you back, Maganta. Is that so? Wouldn't you need a portal underneath the pentagram to send me back? Which is where your lovely daughter is kneeling upon now, she said with a smile. Now I was going to be patient and wait another day before taking her. Seems it is best I do it now. No, Shanda and Hengo screamed, as Maganta made her way back to the room. I suppose I have enough power for this, thought Maganta as she lifted Shanda and Hengo off the stairs, falling on the stone floor, leaving them unconscious. Well, aren't you a lucky girl? You don't have to suffer a day longer. Since your parents so heroically tried to save you, I will take you now before they wake up. AnnaLinda couldn't even speak anymore as Maganta increased the ice on her throat. They have landed rather painfully on the floor. They will turn to bones here as well, just like you. Now let's begin. Maganta put her claws deeply into AnnaLinda, starting to break her spirit with her unnatural cold. Stop the pinching, AnnaLinda thought, but she couldn't even scream. Maganta started seeping into her. AnnaLinda did whatever she could to stay in control of her mind, but it was getting harder and harder. I'm fully loading onto your energy, Maganta said, then stopped for a bit. As she rose in the air, gathering more power almost in full strength, then hitting AnnaLinda even harder. You thought I'd give you a long breather, girl. Not that she could breathe very well with the ice on her throat. Another hit. She lost all mental control. All she could do was go along with Maganta now. Good girl, now all I still need to do is loosen your soul from your body. The man couldn't stand the waiting on the stairs anymore as he heard a loud thump on the floor. Why aren't they back yet? Mr. Holman said, an old local fisherman in town. I think we should check it out, Mr. Timberman said, a local farmer. They were shocked to see Hengo and Shanda on the floor. Shanda, Hengo, wake up. As they woke up, they moaned in pain. Such a headache. You are fine, you are lucky you are not bleeding. AnnaLinda, we have to get to her. But the door is shut. They ran upstairs. There's no way we can open it. Don't we have any tools? Perhaps there is something in here? The man quickly checked the rooms. There is an axe here and a lot of other garden tools. Shanda ran to get it. A girl named Sar lived here. She got all the flashbacks of what happened to Sar. Oh no, that poor girl. Maganta took her soul. Perhaps there is a possibility we can save it. Then they quickly ran back to the door and started smashing it. There they are, child. Luckily I just have to do one more strike. AnnaLinda couldn't think anymore. She was already almost absorbed. Maganta rose up in the sky, gathering all her power ready to strike. Bam! The door smashed open, which took her focus for a few seconds. Shanda, quick! We will bind her. Shanda ran over to AnnaLinda. As Maganta had already started her charging, Shanda, felt the full strike too. Ah! She screamed, while sheltering AnnaLinda from Maganta. You will not take my daughter's soul. Maganta angrily wanted to charge again, but got distracted when holy water and salt was thrown on her. Sweetheart, I'll take you away from here. Shanda and Hengo quickly untied her, dragging her away from the pentagram. She is so weakened. No, put her back. Her soul is mine. The man chanted and trapped Maganta in a salt circle around the pentagram. They continued chanting to bind her to the pentagram again, but Maganta had grown strong from AnnaLinda's energy. Ha! You won't defeat me with your pathetic rituals now, as she smashed the two men against the wall, leaving them unconscious. I remember this. Your men are lucky I didn't kill them like the others during the previous attempt. This time I shall preserve them to take their energy later. It's just the two of you now. Shanda and Hengo looked at each other desperately. They had no other tools to defend themselves. Then Shanda remembered. She had gone mentally into the core of a demon before and destroyed it from within. But for this she needed to be in between worlds. There was one possibility. You were cowardly enough to take my precious daughter. Try and take my soul if you dare. I bet you can't defeat me that easily. Trust me, Hengo, I know what I'm doing, she whispered. He saw the determination in her eyes while healing AnnaLinda. I trust you, he whispered back, giving Shanda a nod. As you wish, Maganta screamed as she lifted Shanda up and threw her onto the pentagram, then grabbed her throat while using her ice power, making sure she couldn't speak too. Luckily she didn't need to speak for this. As Maganta put her claws into Shanda, she immediately followed the essence of the pain and descended deep into her mind and body. Here she can't take me, Shanda thought, but I must be quick before she takes too much energy. Maganta was frustrated as she couldn't control Shanda's mind this way, so she just kept on taking more energy. Shanda went mentally into Maganta's core, activating her own inner fire to shine her light there. Oof, I feel a little weaker, but I can still do enough. Then she thought of Sor. I must save Sor too. Sor was deeply trapped into Maganta's core, a difficult place to reach. I have to free her, Shanda thought, otherwise I destroy her too. Shanda, hurry up! She heard vaguely in the background, which brought her back up. Oh no, I'm almost out of energy. I have to charge now. She charged mentally and then at once deeply into Maganta's core. Come with me, sir, before it's too late. Is this real? Is someone finally saving me? Sor thought. Yes, sweet child, but we must hurry now. Sor took Shanda's hands. Together fighting with heart, tearing this core apart, sending this creature back to the dark. As rays of light started emitting from Maganta, Hengo quickly used the ritual to open the portal. As Shanda and Sor rose up, Maganta became engulfed in light, tearing her apart. I now cast Maganta back to hell, Hengo screamed, and closed the portal swiftly after her dark energy had gone back into it. Shanda gasped as she fully came back into her body. Oh my love, you made it. Come here. As she helped Shanda away from the pentagram. The family embraced each other. It was going to take some time before AnnaLinda would fully recover. She started crying so hard. I'm so sorry. I never should have done this. It's okay now, sweetheart. Mr. Holman and Timberman slowly woke up too. As they looked around, they noticed shadows in the hallway. Shanda, Hengo. Oh, you are all alright. Hengo and Shanda said as they hugged their lovely neighbors. We have to get out of here, Mr. Timberman said. Yes, look at the shadows in the hallway, Holman shouted. No, will it never be over? Shh. Calm down now, sweetheart. We have to get out of here safely, Shanda said. They don't seem very strong spirits. However, they sense our vulnerability. We must go or stay here and remain in the salt circle. No, Hengo said. It's 9 p.m. We might weaken too much during the night. The energy is still foul. Let's go then, the man said. Full of adrenaline, they stormed down the stairs. Can't we open the big door? It's a bad idea to go through the secret tunnels again, Shanda said. It was open before, uttered AnnaLinda. Maganta closed and locked it. No, sweetheart, look, the lock isn't locked. She only made you see it that way so you wouldn't try. Ugh, why was I so dumb, Mom? Sweetheart, she heavily weakened you. Even if you tried, he would have found a way to stop you. It's heavy, Hengo and the man yanked on the door. Finally, they opened the door just in time as they started hearing whispers too. Go, go, go! With the help, even AnnaLinda ran out of the building, filled with adrenaline and fear. After a while, they stopped. The energy clearly felt lighter, but not safer yet. Hengo, what is the fastest way? I can't think clearly anymore. Maganta took quite some energy from me too. Hengo was quite good at orientation. He had a good intuition for finding the right place. Came from the west, but it's a long way back now. We shouldn't go through the hazardous drop forest nearby. The spirits could still affect us there, and I don't trust the area around there either. There is a small pumpkin farm nearby, Timberman said. Yes, it belongs to Jasper, said Holman. He can be a bit cranky, but I'm sure he'll show us some compassion. You helped him restore his family bonds in the past, right, Shanda? Yes, that's right. After that, he was nice to me. After a while, they reached Jasper's house, knocking on his wooden door. Who could this be so late at night, Jasper said, with a cranky voice. Ugh, let's see. It might be some folk that needs me. Shanda? Hengo? What's with the pale faces? Oh, can we please come in and explain? We had a horrible night. Yes, come in. You better don't bring in any of that ghostly gall in here, though. We have done the necessary purification, Hengo answered. Well, come in, or do you all want to freeze me and yourselves to death? They chuckled and came in. Jasper still had his crankiness, however he had softened over the years. So, you all gonna tell me what happened? You all want the cuppa? They nodded. As Hengo started speaking, Jasper listened with frowned eyebrows. Oh, the youngins, they can be so foolish and stupid. She better had learned her lesson now. I tell you what, folks, why don't you hop in the trailer and I'll drive you all home? Is it safe enough out there? Do you really want to ride back all the way alone once you dropped us? Shanda said fearfully, still a little shaken from the experience. Even after 100 times, you never get used to the dark, intense energy. I don't have 5 extra beds. We're going. Spirits won't be interested in an old man like me. I've never really been bothered, except for a strange scarecrow around Halloween time. Alright, Shanda decided. Hop in the trailer, it's still clean. As they all stepped in, they felt some fear, but luckily they were together at last. They returned home safely. Well, it's good we have her home now. Then we can start the healing tomorrow soon, Hengo said. Yes, it is convenient, said Shanda, thinking yes indeed with all their crystals and other materials they had there. After giving AnnaLinda the necessary care, they all went to bed and quickly fell asleep. As Jasper was riding back, he thought, what were they even worried about? The road is as safe as can be. No one's here at night. It's darn cold though. he thought as he sped up the tractor to go home sooner. All of a sudden he hit a stone. "Hell nah," he shouted, as he fought to keep control over the steering wheel, making a sharp turn to the right before almost tumbling into the golden leaf forest. "Hehe, what to do without you, Sally?" as he pat his tractor. "Those new tractors are nothing compared to my old dusty Sally." However, he got a scare there and slowed down just in case, arriving home safely, perhaps his ego a little humbled. The next day it was already late in the morning when the Goldhearts woke up, tired from the events that caused so much stress last night. As Shanda and Hengo went downstairs, they had a coffee and tea. Shanda never drank coffee, it was too bitter. She preferred tea. Hengo always needed his coffee shot in the morning. "Let's not be too hard on her today, I'm sure she is still quite shocked." "Yes, babe, but we need to be firm now as well. We can't have her do something like this again." "I agree, but let's allow her to inform herself. Maybe I should have allowed her to read the book sooner. I just wanted to protect her, but her curiosity can't be stopped. She is just like me. I was the same. Maybe it is now the time we gave her the opportunity to start preparing for the work. She hasn't exactly earned it, but I agree with you. This experience will eventually strengthen her. She got quite a taste of how it is. Now she knows why we always take our steps with so much caution and inform ourselves well before we get into it. I wish, however, she didn't have to learn it in such a hard way." "I know, darling. Let's check her to see how she is." "She's still asleep," Shanda said. "How's her energy?" "Still weak," Hengo replied. "Let us give her some healing." AnnaLinda woke up feeling this soft energy. Mom, Dad? "We are here for you, daughter. Don't worry about a thing now. We got you." "I'm so sore, my body hurts so much." "That will take time, sweetie, but we can help your energy, which will support your body's healing too." A few weeks later, AnnaLinda had strengthened quite much, however still recovering mentally. She didn't dare to go to Hussar's Drop or anywhere near the castle at all again. The past few weeks had been a little tense as well. She felt so ashamed. It was hard for her not to feel sorry towards her parents. Daily chores made her feel better, as she enjoyed the outdoors while picking apples, the last herbs of the season, mucking the paddock and taking care of the horses. "Alright, no more sorry attitude now." "But Mom, No buts. You've been avoiding us, allowing your shame to take over. We have allowed you long enough now. It's time to step out of it and start looking forward again. You know we will guide you and not rush your healing. But you have to step out of the shame now before it fully takes you over." "I guess, Mom. So are you still curious about ghosts after this?" "I'm still too scared to go near the castle, but at the same time I still feel that spark of interest again." "It's your calling to, sweetheart, just like your mom." "But I can't do this anymore. I felt horribly." "You were overconfident, too brave, reckless, and went on too little information. But you won't do that again, right?" "No." "Exactly. You've learned from this. You'll be a lot more cautious before just yanking on a door next time." "How did I already go wrong there?" "What did you feel before?" "Well, I was a bit all overconfident, but I did feel I needed to be on high alert." "Right, and were you?" "No, I dismissed the feeling and thought I could just go in and defeat any ghost with my mind power alone." You surely have a strong mind and spiritual powers, but you need to strengthen more before taking on such high-level demons. You need more knowledge as well. What would you have done then? I would have searched for much more information beforehand, gather stories from locals, connect with the place through a picture safely on a distance with protection, and when actually going, I'd bring crystals, herbs, and holy salt and water. When you noticed you should have been on high alert, that was your cue to go, for someone like you with no experience in the field. But I thought my training would do. When will I ever be ready? Not anytime soon. You've seen how dangerous it is. That is why we want to allow you to gain more knowledge first. Come with us to the library. They went upstairs to the library. It had a soft interior, light blue walls, white skirting boards, a white ceiling and floor. It had a round shape, 2 desks with soft orange lamps near the big window with Bordeaux red curtains. 2 bookcases on each side of the wall. From now on, we allow you to study here. We believe you are now ready to read about the darker side of spiritual stuff too. However, we will vary between books about dark and light. We will not just dive into the darkness all the time. For a good balance, we need to focus on the light as well. And listen to us this time. Yes, dark events strengthen you, but we do not want to see you again in such trouble. Oh, trust me, I don't want that either. But, are you serious? Will you really allow me to read about it all now? Yes, but we will choose the books together. Oh, thank you guys so much. After all the worries I caused you. We love you, dear child. You just need to allow us to guide you a little more. We trust your creativity and intuition. Now it's time you start doing the same. We don't judge you, darling. It took us a while too to believe in and listen to our intuition. They all hugged happily. Once while reading, AnnaLinda felt her mother's warm stare. They smiled towards each other. You're doing great, darling. How are you? I'm feeling quite well now, Mama. What do you say? Do you feel up for learning a protection ritual soon? I'd love to, Mom. Ready to face your demons, darling? AnnaLinda woke up from her thoughts, watching the castle on a distance as she heard her mom's voice. I thought you'd be out here. A year goes by fast, huh? I remember how scared I was, Mom, but I'm feeling prepared now. Yes, your training has been quite beneficial. It's time to purify this place now. Warning the locals not to come near the castle for a while had worked for some time, as tourism is usually low and the community would have notified the goldhearts if there was anybody new attempting to go to the castle. Maganta was gone, but there were still bad spirits lurking. This summer the community noticed slightly more tourism than usual. Shanda and Hengo wouldn't want anyone to go to the castle and get possessed there by any other spirit. Mom, the lights are flickering. Yes, we came at the right time. So, daughter, what would you do first now? I would focus my intuition and make contact with the place. Of course, now while I have all the information and connected on a distance first. Perfect, said Hengo. Good thinking, sweetheart. They both smiled at Hengo. Yes, said Shanda. But since you had quite a traumatic experience, I will do the connecting this time. You focus on your intuition. So you can take a break if any memory shows up. Your body might still have a reaction. Yes, take shelter in us if you need. Thank you, Mom and Dad. As they stepped on the premises, they already started some purifying rituals. Once inside, most of the dark energy had lifted already. The remaining dark spirits were easy to handle, as they were not demons but trapped souls, once human, affected by the ongoing dark energy. Most of the rooms were pure by now. Then they went to the room. AnnaLinda saw it all again and bursted into tears. You're alright now, darling. You're so courageous, facing your demons again. Together they managed to purify the place. It felt clear now. AnnaLinda felt relieved, as if a big weight had been lifted off of her shoulders. Whew, that's it. We had a whole castle now. We didn't miss anything, right? We can't be 100% sure. The castle is said to have many secret rooms as well. Maybe we'll visit later, but for now it seems clean. Fulfilled but tired, they returned home. They had a lovely pumpkin stew that night and a bit of apple pie after. Another year later, AnnaLinda was happily galloping with Artario through Hussar's Drop again. It's going to be dark soon. Let's leave for home, Artario. As she rode away, she thought she saw a light flickering. That can't be! The lights of Marchengast castle were still on at night. She called Shanda. Mom, you won't believe it! The lights are flickering at Marchengast again. End of story. Thank you so much for listening and watching this story. This was so great to make. It really fueled me in a positive way. I connected with something so interesting. And yeah, it all just happened like that. And I left an open ending on purpose, because I might want to make a prequel or a sequel or something intertwined, like I did now as well, with Zor's timeline and AnnaLinda's timeline. And I feel like there are some more characters that are interesting to explore, like with Jurgo, and I don't think Jurgo is that interesting to explore. Maybe you guys do. Let me know if you do. I feel like his father was a schemer, his grandfather was a schemer, so that's why he also became a schemer. Of course, there can be more to that, etc. But I feel like, for example, Kalinta, I think there is more to that story. I think there are more reasons why she became the cold, cruel woman she is or was today in that story. Yeah, and I'd like to explore that more as well. I think that's going to open up a whole new, different realm. Next to that, I would also really like to explore Shanda, her adventures. I think they're really interesting. She didn't just become wise and skilled spiritual woman in one day. That took time and events as well, and lessons and learnings, etc. Yeah, I think she has a great deal of adventures we can get to know as well. She is like an opposite of Kalinta, I think. She probably had her bad events too, but she chose to stay a positive human, a kind human. There's probably also more to Hengo to discover. We can still explore a lot of adventures with AnnaLinda as well. Sure, she is Shanda's daughter, and she might get to do similar things in life, but it all doesn't happen in the same order, so to explore the both of them, it would still be interesting. I don't think there's much more I can do for Zor. Her life, it was quite tragic. not really being loved or understood by her parents, and then being sent to Galinta, sometimes, very sometimes, getting something nice, but basically being a slave all her life. And we know how it ends for her. Perhaps sometime I find something in her story I can still explore, but for now I feel her story is pretty much written, it's pretty much done for her. When I make more stories about AnnaLinda and the Shanda, of course Hengo and Jasper and their neighbors are going to be included as well. I feel like Jasper is such a fun character. And yeah, I named him after the character in SSO because that just feels like such a good name for him. I don't know, for some reason he made me think of this Western and fun kind of vibe, and a bit rough around the edges, that sort of person, but with a good heart, of course, and hardworking, that kind of. Yeah, that little part that included him, that was really, really fun to do. Perhaps the whole Barayan family and the Marchengast castle itself is also very interesting to explore, because I'm sure that Marchengast castle holds a lot more both tragic but also happy stories. And I of course might also introduce some new characters if I write about this again. So plenty more to explore. Yeah, I already feel excited to start a new story. I don't know when. First, this one has got to be released, and then I'm just really curious what you guys think about it, if you liked it or not. I hope it wasn't too scared or too scary, I mean. Also let me know your favorite characters. I'm really curious about that. Maybe I'll do the same next year. Write a story in a few days when I have inspiration, and then take a month for the soundtracks, a month for the visuals, and a month for the text. But that's all future talk, I'll see. But yeah, I think I will definitely intend to release such a story again during the autumn, during Halloween. Maybe it will become an annual thing. But not every year is the same. So I'll have to see day by day, year by year, month by month, whatever, how it goes. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely think that this is not the end of this story, of the universe of this story. So that's it for now. I hope you have a good day, night, morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time it is for you. I'm also wishing you a happy Halloween. See you in the next one. Bye.